All right. So today we'll be talking about sales rank. Now, sales rank is really important because it lets you know about how many books sell in a month or in a year. Like you don't want to get a book that never sells, right? You want a book that has a history of selling. Now, does that mean that a book that just recently put on Amazon won't sell? I mean, you never know honestly because it probably won't doesn't have enough data to tell you whether or not would sell. But if it has like a month or two and you look at this little graph, it will tell you. But over here, it'll probably say zero or like a little line saying basically like this. Like it just doesn't have enough data to give you an information, right? So this is probably the best thing you can use for that. And I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. So this one right here, the first one is current sales rank. Now this is about almost a mil. A mil of book and mil in books is actually not that bad. But if you can see here, days with sales. I normally like to, well, normally it's days with sales in the past 6 months, right? So in 6 months, this book has sold 17 times. And you can use that, and it rounds. If we round it up, it's like about 3 books a month. So basically around 3 books a month sell, which is not bad, right? Because I mean, you only need if you only have one book, I mean, you can be that lucky guy who sells it, right? Uh, and I don't know remember if I said the average rank, but the average rank is taking it for not 6 months like this one, but this one is taking the whole year. So for the past year, this book is actually not that bad, right? It's still in the high end, but it's not bad. I like this is in this rank. I would actually take these books, right? Anything past 1.5, I would start actually thinking a little bit more, depending on what the profit is. All right. So you're gonna use all this information, this, and of course some of this to tell you whether or not you're going to take the book, but it all ultimately comes down to the price and the rank. So for this book, we're going to then click on here, this little graph. This little graphs, or let me go back. This little graph right here only pops up if you live scan it. So if you're in database, you don't have to go on live mode, but if you're in database mode, just simply click on, either double tap it or, double scan it. And if you have that enabled thing where if you scan it twice, it'll automatically go into live. If you don't, just simply click on the magnifying glass and it should pop up. All right. Now you click on this, or if it doesn't pop up, then you probably don't have it enabled in the settings. Let me just click here. Oh, all right. So this is where the little graph, this is what Keepa used to be. But Keepa unfortunately went, now they want now they went pay, so now you have to pay for it, which is like I think $15 a month. It's to be honest, it's not worth it. All right, you can get all this data here. If not, those simple average and that should give you enough what you need to do this. You don't need to analyze it like crazy. I know some people who do this, who do books, they analyze this data like I don't know, man. It's the crazy stuff I seen the people trying to like analyze this data. It's too crazy. All right. So as you can see, these books, the prices they're just out of whack. Look at this. At first, it was selling, and if this now, let me give you a little more. But the used buy box, this is the used buy box, the pink one, this little diamond square shaped things, and the used price is the black line, and the sales rank is the green. Now, over here is the rank, and over here is the price. So right now we're in actually October, right? The price right now it looks like it's shooting up. If this is anything, it's probably going to shoot up to like around a mil, somewhere around the mil. And look at the prices here. The prices for used by box FBA and the used, which is normally merchant fulfilled, they're literally identical. They're the same thing. This should almost pretty much never happen. This should never happen. Amazon or FBA sellers should always be like at least $10 more than merchant fulfilled. So something here went wrong. Somebody must have priced something here wrong, and then every other seller started following their price, which is now at this, now it's at merchant fulfilled price basically, and it just keeps going down. And unfortunately, the only thing that can stop this is one, sellers sell out, or two, one of them or two of them get wise, however many there are in there, and they stop selling it at that price and start shooting it up, right? So the first thing we're going to look at here, we're just going to go back or more forward in time. Last year at November, the prices actually was really good. You know, merchant fulfilled. If you scan this book at that time last year, I mean, you would have been like excited as hell, you know, because it's a used buy box is going for like $70, and even the lowest price at the time, or sorry, the lowest price at the time was going for like 50ish, somewhere around there, like 45. $45. I mean, that's amazing price, right? And it was selling actually. But now so much because of the price. So basically, yeah, it's not that hard to understand this graph. But basically, the lower the number, see how it spikes down. This means it sold one now, or it doesn't mean it sold one. It sold more like it sold a copy, right? We just don't know exactly how many copies it sold. It could have sold 3 or 4 of them in one day from the same person, and this thing would still say one, you know, like one spike. So in reality, just think of this as more like a sale. Don't think of it as one sale, just think of it as a sale. So this thing sold a book, right? And it hasn't sold anything for like almost at the end of November, and it still hasn't sold anything starting November or December, and then finally like around in the middle of the first week or so, uh, it still hasn't sold. It's spiking up a lot. Uh, now it's finally starting to go down, and it finally sold a copy. It probably sold a copy around here too, right? It could have sold a copy around here. Like we never know, right? Uh, as you can see, the price, the rank started going down big time. So before this, it was going at 500,000, and now it's up at like 200. You know, so that means it's like at least one or two books sold between that time, and all of a sudden, nothing was selling, so it started spiking up like crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I honestly don't know why it spikes up like that sometimes, but it does. So for some reason, around December and January, it spiked up a lot. So I'm assuming it's because of Christmas and stuff. You know, a lot of other books and stuff start selling faster. So this book starts getting pushed further down. I'm assuming you see this a lot with some of the stuff that isn't popular around Christmas. Well, the opposite is for, you know, if it starts going down more, it means that it's really popular around Christmas. But I'm assuming since this thing wasn't as popular, it was getting pushed back by other books that were selling out like crazy. So this one started just, you know, the rank started going really high. Uh, and then just in case, so I don't, that way I'm not boring you. I mean, honestly, this is all the information you need. It's not that hard. You can stop watching the video if you like, but if not, I would just continue, I guess, rambling on about more in depth. But you don't need more information than this. Honestly, it's the lower the number, the better. The better it sells. The higher chance of it selling per month. The higher it is, the lower chance it's selling per month. You know, it might not even sell. Who knows? Uh, but I'll continue on in case for other people who want a little bit more examples. All right. So now here, you know, the book started finally selling. It looks like I sold a copy starting in January, and it sold another one, and it started going a little higher because it wasn't selling it any. And then it sold around February, sold another one. It hasn't sold. Around the end of it, sold another one. You know, these little things mean we don't even know how many it sold. It could have sold 2, 3, who knows, right? So if you count these 1, 2, or yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now this tells us it's 15 of them, yet over there's days with sells at, if I believe it was like 17. So it's missing 2, you know. So it's picking up something here that we don't know. So it could have just made their own little data or whatever. But this, you know, it doesn't mean that exactly it sold 17. It could have sold more actually. It could have sold like 30 for all we know. It could have been here, it could have been like 3 sales Over here could have been like 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know. We just use this little data that tells us that a sale happened, but we don't know how many sales. All right, so just keep that in mind. Now the chances are, though, of course, it's only like 1 or 2. Depending on the rank. If we get higher here, like if this one was down here, like a mil and higher, then of course you can probably think like, oh, it's only one book, because I mean it kind of makes sense. It's only one book that sold, not a whole bunch of them. But with this type of books that is like kind of low rank, it's kind of hard to tell how many copies are sold. All right, let's see what else I can show you. But honestly, you don't even need this. This is like almost like at the end if you really want more in-depth, like data. But honestly, you rarely need to use this. The only time I say you would need to use this data is like when, let's say that you scan something and it shows 1 mil, but over here it shows like 3 mil, and you look at the price and somebody's going like this, look at this new guy, right? But it's like used. This is where you use the data to let you know what, like, what's the lowest it's been, and hopefully something like this. Watch, let me show you something real quick. So let's say example here. This is a pretty good example, right? So here's the price, right? This is the lowest with buy box and merchant fulfilled being basically the same price. So here is sold a copy. There was still probably another copy here because it hasn't moved away. So chances are somebody's copy sold here. It must have been someone's FBA price, or it could have been merchant fulfilled. But chances are probably at this price range, there probably was a what do you call it, FBA, right? So let's say that FBA one guy sold here, and the price is still the same, and then boom, see how this one and this one match together, and all of a sudden the price jumps up to around $90. What does this tell you here? This tells you that at this time right here, whoever this guy was at, like, what is it, like 35 bucks, somewhere on there, or 45 bucks. This guy must have sold out, right? Whoever the FBA people were here that were pricing so low, they sold out. So the other people that were also on it, most likely a repricer or someone who came out new, put their price up really high. Once they saw this guy sell out, he put his price up like, way high up there, which was like around a $90 book, right? But unfortunately for him, nothing sold right here in August, At the end of January or July, on August, nothing sold. So nothing was selling. The price started shooting up way up to 1,200 or 1,200,000. So it started shooting up way up there, and it hasn't sold anything at all until like around September. But look at this. See how the prices? That guy was like over here at 90. He started realizing, and from August, it didn't sell anything at all. So he decided to put his price down all the way down here again to match the lowest merchant fulfilled. So he started pricing it, and it looks like to me the price is going down. So it looks like to me there was another seller. So there was two people, probably with repricers, fighting with each other. Right? So they were fighting with each other. It looks like it's still here. A copy sold. I mean, from this thing, it tells me that must have been a merchant fulfilled copy. But who knows if it was actually an FBA? That's the bad thing. It doesn't tell you, like, something like this. When you see a huge price jump like that, then yeah, it can tell you that was an Amazon. FBA one. But stuff like this, it's hard because these little blocks are still here, right? So that means that there's still a FBA person at this price. So the price is still the same. It looks like it sold a copy, but yet they're still here. Didn't sell, and then they sold another one, but yet there's still people here. And we go on almost to October, at the start of October, and it sold another copy, yet these guys are still here. So if we use this data, it can tell us that they must have been like at least five or so people on here, FBA sellers that were at the same price as merchant fulfilled. And if we go back, see how the price is still going down and down every time? That's because they're doing the whole penny thing, chances are. They're doing a repricer, so the price is going down steadily. If it was just a guy or like a regular person, not with a repricer, then you would see more like this, like a bigger jump, or not, yeah, like a bigger jump, going lower because or higher, I guess, but normally it's lower. But you see how it's going like kind of like steady down? It's because of a repricer. So chances are two people have a repricer to reprice against each other a penny less. And if we go back here, let me just exit it out this. Let me do a. And if you see these two guys, I think these two guys are the ones that are repricing against each other because of the whole penny. Now this guy, I'm not so sure if he is or not, or his repricer is not as fast as these guys, right? Or it could just been at the time that this thing was scanned live. But chances are this guy has a slower repricer. Maybe he reprices once a day, or who knows? Like maybe once an hour, and I just happened to check this at this time. But these two are definitely fighting with each other like pretty quickly, judging by the graph. So these two guys have repricers repricing the penny. So as soon as this guy's at this price, this guy's going to go even lower. Then he's going to start at 88. So 1688. It's just going to keep going down, down, down. The price. Now, of course, for sales rank, you don't need to know about this, but this is just a little extra info. Let me check. Okay. So yeah, so honestly, it's not that hard when you actually really think about it. It's pretty damn easy. The highest ranked books you can go. I mean, honestly, you can go as high as like 10 mil. Even some people has gone up to 20 mil. And you will sell books, but just make sure that the price is worth it. And of course, you do this by profit triggers. This is, of course, you can put it by yourself. But if you don't use profit triggers and you just like if you just want to use the data, then of course you're gonna have to look at the screen and analyze it. So basically, what I do is, since I already have this, it kind of gives me the green. So I always look at it from here, take a look here, take a look here, take a look here, and then pretty much this at the end. But it's all fast, like all this pretty much is instantly in like 2 seconds or 1 second. I already know whether or not to take the book. So it's something that you just go like boom, 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 and that's it. The data thing, you don't use it as much. You shouldn't be using that as much. But this literally tells you everything you need to know. I mean, if I had to explain this really fast, it'd be like stay under a mil if you're gonna go with a low price like this. Maybe like $5 profit, $4 profit. Anything like 1.5, start putting like $2-3 more. At 2 mil, put like another $5 more. So you should be getting like $15 profit. 20 mil, you should be getting or not 20. 2 mil, you should be getting like $20 profit. Etc. Stuff like that. Basically, almost every mil, you should be having almost like a $10. Like a $5 to $10 more difference, so that it's worth it for you to keep that book, because you never know when that book is going to sell, right? I mean, that book could literally be there for a year. I mean, honestly, this book could literally be there for a whole year without you selling this. I mean, look at this poor guy, right? He probably scanned the book when it was worth something at $29.97, or maybe this guy. These two poor guys, now gonna have to wait for all these 3 guys to sell out, and there's 7 of them. So that's only 3 here, or how many? 5 here, right? So these poor guys right here would have to wait until all 3 sell out. And there's probably still more people sending stuff in. You remember, because the graph told us that there was more people here. So there's probably still more sellers. Like overall, every month is going to start putting more books and going to start price matching against these guys. So these guys probably can. I mean, their book could be there for like another extra year, honestly. This is kind of the bad thing about books, is that the prices change so fast. So that's why you always want to go with the lower rank. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like 2 mil. Of course, if the book stays at that price for like a whole year or 6 months, then chances are you will get that price. I mean, I sold some books where I sold like a 20 mil book. I sold a 10 mil book. I sold them before, but I always make sure that the price is worth it. If it's a 2 mil book, or yeah, 20. No, sorry, not 2 mil. If it's a 20 mil book, I won like $100 profit. Like if the book is gonna sell, if I don't know when that book is gonna sell and it's gonna sit in Amazon's warehouse for a whole year or 2 years, I want to make sure that when that book does sell, it's worth it. And that's what you want, because you don't want a whole bunch of 10 mil books on Amazon's warehouse. Trust me, you're gonna get hit with a whole bunch of fees. That book that cost you only like five, like what is it now? Like 3-4 cents a month. Now it's gonna start costing you $1, $2 a month. One book doesn't seem that bad, right? But 1 year, trust me, and if you have like $200-300 or 200-300 of these books in that warehouse, I mean that's $1 a piece. Those 300 books turn to it'll turn into $300 a month. All right, just for keeping them there now, because Amazon doesn't want you. Amazon doesn't want to be a storage. They want to sell shit, you know, fast. They don't want to keep their stuff in there forever. And honestly, you'll see a lot of people's complaints on Facebook, wherever you little community are. You'll start seeing complaints of people saying like, "Oh my God, my book has been there forever." And if you've been doing this for a while, you start realizing that, yeah, the prices change so fast, and sometimes, like this book, honestly, at this price, I would still get it if it was $1. But if it was like a $3 book, uh, even though mine thing still says profit, I honestly, I don't think I would take it. Not now, not anymore. Now that I changed the way I do my business, I probably would not take this book anymore. It's too low profit. And look at this. 1 penny difference, it tells me to grab it, and one tells me not to grab it. Right? Like that's crazy, right? That's because of my profit triggers. Uh but honestly, at this price, and if it cost me $3 and I only got $4 profit, I probably wouldn't get it. Even though that there's a chance of mine thing actually selling. But I would probably have to wait until almost if I didn't price against them, those three lowest ones, honestly, I would probably have to wait until February to sell it. I mean, I'm not gonna keep the book in my house, but I will send it in. You know what I'm saying? Like I won't keep it for that long. But I mean, this all depends on what you want your business to be. If you want to be that faster, like quick money, then of course you'll send it in, boom, done. But only if it costs you $1, right? I don't want to do that. Other than that, but this, if it would cost me $1 and I made $6 from this, oh yeah, I will send it in. I'll send it in and I'll price this guy just to sell it fast, just so I can get out of it faster, right? Like, and if I was more like, let's say, like if I knew this book was going to sell in 6 months from now, would I wait for this? Honestly, not really, not for me. I kind of want the faster money. You know what I'm saying? Because like the one thing for new people who start doing books is that we don't have a whole bunch of cash flow. You know what I'm saying? We don't, at least I don't. I don't have a whole bunch of money just laying around waiting for 6 months to pay me back. I want to send that book in and I want to get my money back fast so I can go and invest. I can't invest in stuff if I have no money. And that's just me, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you who are exactly in the same boat. I mean, that's why we look for stuff like this, how to make money online, because many of us want to quit our jobs, right? And I've been doing this for 3 years, so I think I know now. I think I've fallen into the whole, waiting for my money to get my money's worth back for some of these books, and then I still have them for like a whole year, and they still haven't given me my money back. And I would buy them for like $2-3, And if I would look at my inventory now, I can probably take like 500 of those books that won't sell, that haven't sold in a year. And if I got the money back at $2 a piece, that's $1,000 that I can literally get back. $1,000 that I just wasted on books that haven't, and those books are costing me money because they're just sitting there on Amazon's warehouse for past a year already. Yeah, so start thinking about the sales rank. I mean, the lower the number, hopefully this, I would say don't go any lower than like 20 if you want something like fast to sell. If you don't care too much about your like return on invest, or not return on investment, but if you have cash flow, if you have the money and you don't care about waiting 6 months to a year to get that money back, then by all means do this. If I can get these for like a quarter or 50 cents, oh hell yeah, I'll get these all day, because even at the lowest price, I'm still going to sell it at this price. Like let's pretend I send this in right now and I try to get this, but let's say I'm running out of money I can just go back in there and price against this guy and sell it in that month, you know? And yeah, that's basically about sales rank. I know I rambled on in the last minute, but hopefully if you did stick to, I mean, hopefully you learned a little bit more. But I guess if you want to just sales rank, then you only needed to listen to the first like what 5 minutes. It's not that complicated, honestly. You don't need I guess you don't need to be a rocket scientist, you know? All right. See you guys later.